Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of Nikki B and Friends. What up, friends?
Not
good?
much.
What y'all up to?
Man, listen, I'll tell y'all, because we family, so I can tell y'all this. So, listen. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm on, because I'm going to do a real life issue right now.
What's going on?
Yeah, outside of, doing all the stuff that I do. So, I get paid, usually like Wednesday nights. The latest, Thursday morning.
Okay.
So, Wednesday night pass, I'm sleeping anyway. Thursday morning come, I'm waiting on a notification. I'm waiting on it to refresh. And I'm like, okay, something going on because that number's still red. And it ain't never red today.
That number's still red.
The number's still red. I'm like, what's going on here? So then it's getting later. Like it's like 10, 11 o'clock. We get an email. Yeah, it was a system glitch.
No.
With payroll this week. So we're gonna try we did an emergency.
Oh, it was your check.
Yeah.
Check.
Ooh.
So I'm like, okay. It's supposed to be here when? So they said tomorrow. Watch. I'm gonna walk out.
Some people will call in.
I'm walking out. Because the thing is, I'm the only black person at my job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be like, look, I don't know. I think y'all being displaying racism because I don't have another black employee to reference that's having this problem.
Was it only you?
No, it's everybody else. It was a company-wide email.
Oh, you can't holler that out, dude.
I don't know what other black people dealing with. So either we could settle out of court with just giving me my check. And you know what? With no child support deductions. And we can call it good. Otherwise, you will be seeing me at 61st District. Believe that. With a neck brace on.
The people gonna pay you.
Yeah, that's my life. What's going on with y'all?
Oh my gosh.
What up, Dee? What's going on with you?
Nothing that fantastic.
You said what?
Nothing that fantastic. Nothing. I'm just glad the weather finally broke. It actually was 77 today in good old Michigander.
No.
It was nice.
Where your voice at?
Man, stupid cat. Somebody disrespectful behind Holly at work. Put their coat on top of my coat, and I'm allergic to cats. And they have a cat.
So like y'all just be hanging coats up? Like a daycare? Or
no, my coat was on my chair. So I'm trying to understand why you put your coat on my chair. I threw the whole chair away.
You ain't threw no whole where you
wouldn't believe the coat was on the receiving dock. Because it's all that dander is what gets me. And so I got the Monique voice once again.
It didn't make it to the garbage can. Somebody in the pickup truck with their
friends. Trust.
Got that chair. And believe me, that's on the back of somebody's truck.
Trust me.
It's somebody's car. Nowadays, truck open, somebody holding it from the back seat. Like, come on, man.
No, for real. It's like real people in the city that like just drive around in pickup trucks just looking for stuff.
Yeah, I know people who do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can find some good stuff. I ain't even gonna lie.
Somebody stole a tire from me one time.
No.
Yes.
Real car?
Yes. Listen, I got a new car and I was gonna sell my old car, but I had to get a new tire for it. So I took off the old tire, set it in the yard. I was like, you know what? I'm about to run and grab something real quick. I literally went around the corner. I came back and I'm just like, something's missing. I said, I can't put my finger on it. There's something missing. Somebody took the tire.
Dang, that's so disrespectful. Out your yard at that.
Yeah, out my yard.
So
yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real epidemic.
Crazy.
Oh, we can't rise. What's up with you, Nikki?
Same old, same old. Y'all know me. Dibbling and dabbling with this and that.
Anything you want to share, or are you gonna wait?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some tea for y'all later, y'all.
I'm gonna go ahead and wait a minute. Go ahead and wait a little minute. We got a deep subject today, though.
Like
Heavy.
cool water deep, or like deep?
Deep. Well, it ain't gotta be deep, but probably will be deep. So we had a sponsor, but I lost their information, so I apologize. I don't know where to email that. So we announce you.
We sponsored by the people.
Right, we sponsored by the people. So we appreciate you listening, continuing to support us. Or I do have to do our top fans, our new fans who just became top fans. I normally have this stuff ready.
Struggle bus. We have one more seat.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, while we doing sponsors and shout outs, just a real shout out to Document Press out in Sweden. They sent me some free books. It's like rap quotes, coast to coast. It's like,
oh, that's hot.
Yeah, it got like different like rappers and pictures and stuff from like all over the world with like rap quotes to go with it.
Who was that addressed to? Like, they don't never send us Nikki B and Friends. Then they just be sending
Coach.
Well, y'all know I do different things, man. You know that people want my input on. But yeah, that's shout out to Document Press.
Yeah, shout out Document Press.
Yeah, and they sent me a children's book, and like my son's birthday is Saturday, so he will be getting it for his birthday. I got that trick from my dad. Like my dad, he started doing that because he got his own store, and he just stopped buying gifts and was like, "Man, come on through to the store, man, get you something free." Like, I get stuff for free now.
Grab you one of them books.
Yeah, like I know, like one day he was just at his store and was just like, I forgot to go shopping. Looked around and was like, man, let me grab this Myers bag from behind his counter and just throw some stuff in it. And it's just been a thing ever since.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, so I want to just share with our listeners because and you guys, because when I look at they give me this little top locations of people that's rocking with us, and we really appreciate it. So we got New York, but when we're going to talk about cities. New York, Chicago is second. Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, girl.
It's
Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Columbia, Detroit, Los Angeles, Dallas, Memphis. We're going to wrap it up.
Right.
They hating?
Couldn't be. So much love.
Man.
In the sea. I don't see that.
Yeah, maybe it's because it's I know Grand Rapids rocking with us.
Definitely. Got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just ain't on the top at the top. But
started from the bottom now.
That's like for real? Like, I found that interesting though. So whatever. Yeah, so I just did those. I ain't gonna do the top fans because I can't find it. So, note to self: no drinks before the show.
Right,
man. I wasn't gonna say nothing at all. I was gonna be a real team member and be like, I ain't gonna even say what's going on.
Was on my tongue, and we're gonna talk about that later.
Right.
I feel like I'm carrying Paul from Temptations right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody else talking for me, right? I didn't even know. You know, you have, My job can be stressful at times. So you come home and then you try to, before the show, I'm like, let me just relax a little bit.
Okay.
Who knew?
Right. I did.
Dang. So I must have put too much alcohol in this little drink.
First of all, there's
too much dip on the shit.
Right. Yeah. So it's good though.
I bet it is.
It look good.
Because your drink was full when we first started. We only been talking for 10 minutes.
I put my business all out there like that, especially with what we talking about today.
Wow. This is funny.
Right.
What we talking about? Let's just get to that. What we talking about?
No. First, we got a new segment that we adding today.
Okay. Yeah, right on.
And it's called DD's Public Service Announcement. So each week, DD will give us a public service announcement to help everybody make it through their day. So, breaking special public service announcement.
Yes. So today's segment of public service announcement is about my favorite season. My favorite season is spring, almost summer, because you get to break out your cute shoes, the ones you had hidden that you found on sale last season, but you can break them out now. So if you're going to wear those sandals, I need everyone to make sure their entire foot has been taken care of, not just your toes. Your heels cannot look like you were trying to stop your F-150 Super Duty going downhill.
Facts.
Your heels can't look like that. It's just, I done seen too many disgraces in this, what's today, 4 days. It's been warm 4 days. People out of sorts. So
but they toes polish.
Toes is fresh, popping color. Got the little big toe decorated. But then you walk past like, oh, cute toes. Thanks. You keep walking. I turn around. Your heels look like you've been like clawing the concrete with the back. Like, there should be no crevices in the heel. A heel is a smooth surface. Keep it smooth, people.
Right.
Keep the whole foot on the sandal too.
Man.
Yeah.
This is where your J's if you can't get your feet done. This is where your J's. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But make sure your heel not hanging off and make sure your toes not hanging over.
For real.
And I should have known that this would be Dee Dee's public service announcement because this is one of her pet peeves. I still laugh and tell people about the time that she and I worked together and our manager wore some sandals and Dee Dee said her feet looked like she made cookies with her feet because they was looking like flour.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Yes, I often tell that story.
Woo.
So, now let's take a deep breath and get serious. So today's topic is how to deal with a family member who is on drugs. We know that there's an epidemic, which there always is. It's just always something different. Mm-hmm. And things are being handled a different way. Mm-hmm. So now they're saying there's more prescription. People are addicted to the prescription drugs than anything. So I pulled up, before we start just talking about it, the things that they tell you to do. It's 5 steps that you need to take. So number 1, you need to educate yourself on the type of drug that your family member uses. Learn how the drug acts in the body and how it affects the behavior of your loved one. That way you'll be knowledgeable about it. 2, join a support group for family members of drug abusers. Most communities have support groups that hold regular meetings for family and friends of drug abusers. 3, discuss the addiction problem with a licensed professional. A therapist who specializes in drug addiction can help you address your own behavior and also give you some helpful advice. Step 4, review your past behavior and find out how you may have enabled this person's behavior. Resolve to step out of the way and to let them face the consequences of their addiction. And number 5, talk to your addicted family member about his illness. Your loved one may deny or downplay the situation, but voicing your concerns can help bring the problem into the open.
Check that fool.
So I will start off by saying, yes, you do want to talk to your family member, but don't do it when everybody around. If it's not really set up like an intervention,
Exactly.
Don't. Man, with your high ass, you high again, and you don't know, when it's a get together. That's not. I wouldn't think that was the approach.
But like, when is the appropriate time to have an intervention on?
Not at a family gathering.
I mean, no, but like, when is it appropriate? Like, at what point?
Oh.
Do you say like, I think it's time that we stage an intervention? Like, at what point in that process do you do that?
I think when you notice that they're addicted and that the addiction is affecting every aspect of their life. Work, kids, family, stealing, all of that.
But do you have a one-on-one encounter first, and if that don't work, then an intervention, or you just go straight intervention? Like, what do y'all think?
I would think one-on-one first, because if you close enough to them to care about it, y'all cool enough to talk. I would hope.
Yeah, because like just like full on like intervention, and like especially like without somebody even coming to you, like, man, I'm concerned, and like you just getting a full. We want to talk to you. Like, you just seeing your crowd of a circle of your family and a white man. Come on, son, sit down.
They ain't always got to be white. No, we ain't doing the black or white. Why they got to be a white man?
Because I watch intervention.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah.
It's only white men that do it.
It's always a random person that don't.
Yeah, just mad random. And you just see people sitting in a circle, and you know it's about you. Like,
right?
Nah, don't do that. Like, because you gotta think like. That's like people can't even handle therapy. Just imagine people in couples therapy and somebody finally telling you how they feel. Like, well, you make me feel low. How I make you feel low?
Exactly.
How? Don't get up in here and try to show out. Like,
exactly.
I think it's on the person, man.
But okay, so I don't watch the show Intervention. I've never even seen one episode. I don't think.
Yeah, you have.
Have I?
We used to remember the man that was like, man, for some reason, I still love you. No.
Oh, was that Intervention?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just a deadbeat dad that just had been around his son.
Nah, he was on that stuff.
Oh.
That man passed away too. I don't think he was from drugs though, but he did pass away because he was an older person.
Okay. Okay. But because to me, a lot of times when I have seen people do interventions, to me it's almost like the person is only going because they did the intervention. So if they're not really ready, they just really going just to be going, and they're not going to even get clean.
Oh, absolutely.
And gonna get right back out in, because when people see what drugs do and how they handle them. And then, like, somebody will go to jail, and then they'll get out and start using drugs. Why you gotta get right out? Like, why can't that be the time you try to stay clean? Even though we know that they say they sell drugs in prisons and stuff, but that would be the time I would try to, because some of them have to do mandatory counseling and all of that stuff. Why wouldn't you try to stay clean?
Yeah, because it's a sickness. Like people like that I've seen, at least, that like it was on drugs a long time. Like they still say, like, I'm addicted to this. Like every day it's a new fight. It's not the same fight. It's a new fight every day. Because it's like that stuff really is like a lifestyle or something that's really in you, and that's a hard thing to shake for some people.
Yeah, they say once an addict, always an
Always an
addict.
addict.
Right, always an addict and all of that. But it's like, I guess I just, thankful that I never got to the point where I really wanted, like, I really struggle with, like, after you seen somebody on drugs, crack, heroin, what would make you say, I see that they down on their luck and then lost their job and out here hoeing. Let me try that. Let me try that drug.
But that's not how it starts, though. It never starts with, you don't just wake up one day and just start shooting heroin. You start from the little drug, like some marijuana.
Don't do that.
Wait, no. That introduces you into the different realm. Then that person that sells you marijuana says, not the legal places.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Says, oh, I got this new stuff called crack. It gets you higher.
That ain't new.
No, I'm saying like back in the day. Yeah.
All right, good.
Back before Whitney did it. So, then
how do you really feel?
Then you try it, and you like that high. So then your whole purpose of doing it is try to achieve that first
initial high. Right. I have heard that people are like people on heroin are always trying to, and they say the heroin is one of the hardest people to stop. And they say people will, like, you can, a crackhead will come and if they ain't got the money, you'll be like gone. Mm-hmm. But if you can't do that with a heroin addict, they will kill you for it. Wow. But most of them will come back and give you, pay you when they get their money.
Okay. So I have a question. Let's say if a person is a fully functioning drug addict, do you still say something? Like they do heroin, but they still go to work, take care of their families. Do you still say something?
If it's somebody close enough, I would think that you would still say something because it would still be a concern. Like, it couldn't be a spouse or a child or something like that. I'm not coming in the bathroom and finding your ass knocked out and all of that bullshit. No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Okay. And what drugs qualify for you to say something?
All. In my book, all, and including alcohol.
Yeah, I would agree.
So everything, okay, so let's say if somebody did marijuana, at what point for y'all would it be, okay, I need to say something to this person?
If they going broke trying to spend it, because the thing is, a lot of people don't feel like marijuana is, they just exclude. When they talk about drugs, they exclude marijuana. And some doctors will say you can't get addicted to it. That people make the jokes all the time. You don't go out and bribe people for marijuana. But if you going broke buying it, you still got a problem.
Right.
If you ain't got the money and you ain't paying your bills because you're trying to get some weed, that's still a problem. Because you shouldn't have to be going without the basic stuff to do that.
Okay, but if they was just, so if somebody just was just doing weed, but they was still taking care of the stuff that they needed to, is that somebody that you say something to?
I think maybe if they did it every single day, I would say, dang, you got to be smoking weed every day?
I would have two. One, if I'm high just by sitting next to you.
That's ridiculous.
You got to stop. That drives me crazy.
No, you just trifling.
Thank you.
That's not even a weed thing. That's a you thing.
Exactly.
You can do it without smelling like it. Very easy. You making a choice because some people they like that. I got a cousin. And he say man, I like smelling like that. I let people know that I'll be smoking good.
Really?
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Literally.
Seriously. You're
that's the thing. And I think that's the thing that has changed. That's why I'm glad we different age groups and stuff because no matter what you did, it was your business. It was a secret and all of that. And now everybody be wanting you to know that they get high and all of that stuff. And then I don't get the purpose of the lean cough syrup that puts you to sleep. Why do you want to go to sleep? To be numb?
That one before.
But no, that's been around for a long time. Like way longer than people think. Like that's actually been around since like the late 80s, early 90s. But it just didn't.
Remember the song? Sipping on some scissors.
Yeah, and that was like early 2000s. I think they was doing it way before the song dropped.
Well, I knew because I remember getting some, and you know, it was a pretty big deal. You know, people showing your ID and all of that stuff, and I'm just like, and I promise you, I took that stuff one day. When I tell you it knocked the cough out.
Because it knocked you out. That's why.
Right. And then you be asleep. And then, like, that's why I don't like Flexeril. I don't like to be asleep like that. So that's one of the ones that I really don't understand.
What?
What would be the purpose of taking that?
It's just another high. It's a different kind of high.
Yeah.
Some people don't work like that on everybody. Some people just get dizzy. Some people get knocked out. It's just like,
you know, I was just saying, like, that's why I don't really like stuff like that, especially when it comes like prescription pills and things like that, because it affects everybody differently. Mm-hmm. And, like, the thing is, you could take too much of this and die.
Literally,
like,
yeah.
Anything, and you don't know your limit. It's not like, I know if I take 5 mLs, that's too much for me. You have no way of knowing that you took too much until you're not breathing no more.
Right. What's mLs?
Milliliters.
Oh. I thought it was a drug. I'm like, what's a male?
Education with Nikki B and Friends.
Because every time you turn around, it's like something new. Because I don't care what nobody say. It has to be something in the weed for it to smell the way that it smells all of a sudden. You know,
weed didn't used to smell like that.
No,
because if you hot box, like you will smell like that.
Well, okay, school me. What's hot box?
Well, hot boxing is when you smoke in like a close quarter, like in a close space, and you just taking in like all the smoke. Or if you just doing a lot, like I said, like I know people, like I have family that as soon as they wake up in the morning, they smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, smoke cigarettes. Like I still remember I roll with family, like my cousins. I got in the car because we was heading to Chicago for a funeral for my aunt, rest in peace. You know, so I get dressed, I spray my cologne on, you know. I'm smelling like, boy, what you got on? That's what I'm smelling like. By the time I got out the car with them fools, I smelled like, nigga, what's wrong? It was all bad.
Oh, shoot.
Because they just chain smoke, like just weed, cigarettes.
Oh, they was flipping?
That's it. They were just flipping the whole day, and they kept having their window down, and it's like, it's cold outside. So like we keep like, so me and my sister, we in the back seat. We like, yo, can you roll the window up? Oh yeah, I got you. The window will somehow make his way down. I'm like, okay, like, can you roll it up, please? Because it's cold. It's like 30 degrees, and it's like the wind is just hitting me because I didn't dress warm. So then the day ended about like 9 o'clock with these people. By 8 o'clock, I broke because we in town now, and the window just keep coming down. I just said it. I ain't gonna say the name that I said, but I said such and such on crack. I just broke. I couldn't keep it in no more. I couldn't keep it in no more.
Oh, shoot.
But you know what? Whenever I see somebody smoke back to back to back to back to back to back, I always suspect that they are on cocaine and they're just trying to keep a high going until they can get to the cocaine.
Not all the time.
No, some people.
No, I said that's what I think.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that's what they were doing. I said that's my perception of what they're trying to do, because I remember one time movie, and that's what they were showing you in the movie that they can stay a little higher off of the cocaine from cigarettes.
I heard that before.
This guy I used to work with, a pharmacist, nicest guy ever. Super skinny, but his kids were skinny, his brother's skinny, so that's a family thing. But he used to eat a lot of candy. Like, he reminds you of Mr. Rogers, and this ain't Mr. Rogers, but that's the way he looks, like, shirt button to the top, sweater.
Yeah. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Skinny.
Right, literally, all he had to do was start singing the song. So anyway, he ate so much candy, and he always had like chewy candy, not chocolate, candy, like penny candy, chewy candy, and so
Jolly Ranchers.
No, not
no, chewy candy.
Had to be chewable.
Okay, taffy.
Definitely okay.
So one day we all working, and all of a sudden, the police come to work, but they would come a lot because they was picking up for like an ambulance ride for an emergency thing.
Okay.
So I'm like, we don't have nothing emergency. He said, we're not here for pickup. We're here for a pickup, but not that pickup. I'm like, thinking to myself, do I got warrants? No,
Yeah,
not me. Not me. It's too early. But anyway, so they came for him. Come to find out, he was on cocaine. And he was selling the drugs that we had in the infusion center. Switching them. I don't do oxy. I do cocaine. I'll give you these 20 oxy for however much cocaine. And they caught him on the camera doing it. Followed him back to work. Yep.
So, what did the candy do?
It keeps you high. It gives you that same sugar rush. It's the same kind of rush. If you keep eating candy back to back with no break, you stay up. You never get that. No, you drink a whole bunch of pop and then you crash. Same concept. He be drinking a Mountain Dew too.
Yeah, plus like you gotta think like with Coke is such an upper. Like a person with Coke, they can't even stand still with their arms hanging down. Like they'll be fidgeting with their arms crossing them. Like people on Coke can't even handle a car ride.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, because like I thought, like when I was younger, I used to think that Coke was a downer.
Oh.
Like I didn't find out it was an upper until I was around people who did it.
I know. I always knew that it was a upper. I just was always scared. I always felt like if I did something like that, I would die.
Right. I'd be that 1% chance of her having some kind of crazy reaction.
Did y'all
full-blown pharmacist.
Did y'all ever hear the Lynn Bias story? Okay, this happened in the 80s. It was this guy, he was the number 1 draft pick for the Boston Celtics. He was the number 1 draft pick. And the night he got drafted, like the next day he signed a Converse shoe deal, everything. That night, the night he got drafted, he went to celebrate at his college campus, did cocaine, and died that night.
Oh, wow.
First time he had ever did it?
No, he did cocaine before.
Oh.
But people didn't know he did cocaine.
Oh.
Like him and his friend, like they was just doing cocaine in a college dorm. He's celebrating being the number 1 pick in the draft, and he never even got to sign his deal. Like he died the night he got drafted.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That is horrible because some of the times you hear the stories and I'll be trying to figure out, like you'll hear a story and it'd be like young people who will say, I was 11 when I did heroin or something like that. And you just be like,
where was your parents at? That's all I always want to know. Where was your parents?
I remember a story that somebody told me, and they were saying that back in the 70s that a lot of men would get women, cook for them, and would put heroin in their food. And the woman would get hooked on heroin, and it was their way of, then she would start prostituting, and it was the way that they both could get high. And I meant to look it up earlier because I knew that this was our discussion, but I do know that most women who get hooked on drugs are introduced to them by a man that they're dating is who introduces them to them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's real. Because I listened to an audio book and it was like they were saying that like pimps, like back in the day, like especially like in the Chicago area, like they would get the girls hooked on heroin. And then when they was done with them, if they wasn't hooked on heroin while they was prostituting, when they wanted to be done with them, they would get them hooked on heroin. And then some of the girls would die.
No
and that would
way.
be their way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
Used to put it in be acting like they fixing them breakfast and then put it in there and then they would get hooked on it. But yeah, but they were just saying that not even that because that way they didn't know, but most people are with dating some guy and then they be wanting to know what it feel like.
Yeah.
That they do getting high, so what it feel like, and that's how they get hooked. I don't even want nobody around me. I wish I would be with somebody and catch it and pull out some powder.
Man.
When I finish whooping his ass and telling everybody
right
he on that stuff.
No, like I know somebody on powder. Like well, they ain't on powder no more, but they used to be on powder. Like they did it in front of me. And yeah, like did it right in front of me. Like I done been around people doing powder a few times. But
are you serious?
Yeah, they did it like right in front of me.
I'm telling your mama.
The craziest thing is that I was the only person who knew that they was on it that night. And they was just so antsy. like he calling his sis, like he like, where's she at? This be playing with me. And like don't nobody else know what's going on, but I know what's going on. I was like, this is crazy. And it, like it was like 2 minutes seemed like an hour to him. Like he'll call her, where you at? I'm around the corner, cool. 2 minutes to go by. She playing with me. Call her again. Like,
oh my goodness.
She saying she on the way.
Like literally.
Literally. She playing with me, dog. Man. And I'm just
God.
like, yo, like, he's high.
But did you talk to that person to say, you need to stop this? This is crazy. Why are you doing this?
The thing is, I was so young. And they was like way older than me. Like I was probably like 18, 19 tops.
Oh, okay.
This person was like almost 30. So it's like, I wasn't thinking like, man, let me tell him.
Yeah. And I think one of the saddest things that you can hear is when you hear about somebody doing drugs and people not getting them to the hospital one time because they're scared and to leave them there when they didn't OD or not calling because they think they're going to go to jail. People going to the hospital and people know what's wrong with them and won't tell because they got stuff to pull it out of you so you won't be high. Yep. And they bringing you in not telling the truth. And then the doctors can't figure out what's going on and you high.
Right. So now the standard protocol for an unconscious person in a trauma when you come into the hospital is to give them Narcan. Because if you're not high, it does nothing to you. If you're high, it brings you out. It means you're overly high or whatever you want to call it, having an overdose.
Is that the stuff they're giving away free now at the pharmacy just because? Now, why didn't they do that for crack?
I don't know. Well, first of all, they had to get people comfortable using it outside of a medical field. So a lot of people didn't want to just give, because it's like giving you a smack in the face. That's what it feels like when you come out. You got smacked.
Well, shit.
Right.
What's the other option?
Right.
You don't come out.
Right. So that's one of the things. But then what happens after you give it? So do you take them to the hospital? Do you tell them man up? So they had to wear out all those kind of side effects and what ifs before they could be like, hey, let's just take this. It won't do nothing if you're not high. If you're high, it brings you out of the high or of the.
Well, if you're not high, it doesn't do anything.
No, nothing. So like soon as they come in and no one knows what you didn't get in an accident or fall or hit your head or anything, that's the first thing that they do.
Well, there's some new drug that you know how you watch a Facebook video and then another video will come up. Mm-hmm. So it's some new drug, and the guy kept hollering out what it was. Sometimes you just hate the people on the videos.
Right.
But it's like you can't control your body. So they just, the girl is at
Flocka.
At I don't know. She works at Family Dollar. She came in, but she just could not stop like moving in a circle, and she just knocking stuff down. She on the floor, she rolling, and then after that they showed a man. He out on the street. I mean, and both of them look young. He out on the street. He rolling downstairs. Get to the bottom of the stairs. He's still rolling.
Yep, that's that one. Like, that Flocka.
What is it?
What is that?
Flocka is some new synthetic drug. It's like a mix between heroin and fentanyl. Something crazy like that, with something else cut with it. And it makes people like crazy. This dude, I saw the same video, but the video after that came up for me was this dude ramming his head through a plate glass window. He just going down the street, and then he just ran with it. Like the window is around his neck, and he's still running.
Wow.
That's all it was. These people were, this guy was rolling in the street.
Worse than PCP. People are superhuman strengths with it.
And so how do they use it?
And I'm not sure how they use it, but that was the caption. This was what happens when you take Flocka. And I Googled Flocka, and that's what it came up. It's something that the drug is cut with. It's like something that don't belong in a body.
Because she could not. I mean, she could not. They could not get her to stop. I mean, she is just rolling and knocking everything down. She couldn't stand. Once she fell to the ground, there was no way they could get her up.
That's crazy.
And so, I mean, it was so scary to watch.
Yep, because
and that's why I always like have to tell, Nico, do not let nobody give you nothing to drink, because people be dirty like that.
Oh yeah, especially if they see you like it. Nice.
Right. And then, I've had the conversation with him, like, do people be doing drugs, at your school and stuff? And he'd be like, yeah, it's a lot of people like that's why stay away from them. No thank you. He'd be like, I do sports, I don't have time for that, I ain't trying to get high. And he probably blessed because he ain't been around all of that, because I think a lot of it, especially marijuana, that's the drug that so many people do with their kids.
Yeah.
And I never could understand that. I don't care how old you are. But then when the kids, a lot of times the kids aren't as strong as you are. So you may be smoking weed for 30 years, but then you smoking it with your kid, and now your kid want to try something else and get stronger.
Yeah. So I actually had to Google it because I needed to know. Mm-hmm. So Flocka was developed in the 1960s, and it was sold as the designer drug because it was more expensive, and it's cut with APV. Don't know what that is, but it's a chemical. It's a key, and it breaks down the ketones in your brain. So basically, you don't know whether you're coming or going. So it's like you're paranoid. You have psychogenic purposes, but it's like amplified.
How long is it in your system? So I think we just really been talking about drugs because, and the topic was supposed to be, I guess we can always change, whatever the title of it is if we never get to it, but it's how do you deal, with your family members on it. So if your family members on drugs and don't pay their bills and get evicted, do you let them come and stay with you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh. There's no way. Nope. Mm-mm.
I mean, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so easy to say what you wouldn't do until you're in an actual situation with somebody who you love and care about. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine like if it was like your son and his kids, and he like I didn't mess it all up. Like,
okay,
what do you do?
the kids is coming here,
But you got to figure it out.
Right, you need to go to the treatment center. You're not coming here.
Yeah, and something that I always thought just didn't make sense. With like a lot of things that don't make sense is like when sending people to prison or jail for doing drugs.
That
like
I understand. Yep.
That doesn't help anything, and they sell drugs are so accessible in jail. Like they need treatment.
It's
like,
almost worse.
Yeah, it is worse. You know what I'm saying? So you better off getting these people and making them, instead of making them do a year in jail, make them do a year in somebody's treatment facility.
That would be optimal.
Make them do counseling to figure out the root of the problem, because most people
all of that stuff
are trying to deal with something, and they were saying that a lot of times it was the mental health nurse when we did the episode on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she told us that a lot of times that it's a mental health issue that people are dealing with, and because they don't seek the mental health,
mm-hmm.
they cope with the mental health by using drugs. They call themselves, relaxing themselves,
mm-hmm.
Stuff like that, because they won't deal with what's going on, and then don't realize that the drug makes the mental health worse.
Right. It amplifies it. Yeah.
And so then, you're just in a really, messed up situation, because you'll hear people say, like, I ain't taking no prescription drugs. I don't want to take no medicine. But then they get high.
Right, but you high every Tuesday, really?
Right. Oh, okay.
Make sure. But another thing that people don't really understand about prescription drugs is when you get a prescription drug, and I'm not talking about like the Flexerils and the baby drugs. I'm talking about the hardcore Oxy. You got your fentanyl, propofol, all those. When you get into those, when you take more than prescribed, I'm talking about just regular. They say take one a day, one every 6 hours. You take two, you start stopping your breathing. It delays your breathing just on GP, just because that's what it does. So
they said that you could get addicted to that in 5 days.
Yes. I literally had major surgery to the point where the pain was so excruciating that they gave me that oxycodone. And they gave me morphine. Sent me home with it. Oh, you work, you good. You work in the field. Go ahead. I was so scared to take it that I ended up back in the emergency room because I didn't want to get addicted. Because I was taking so many. It was just like, they was giving to me like candy. And they were like, you got to take it or you're going to be back here. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I literally weaned my own self off and just dealt with the pain. But people are doing it as prescribed. And some physicians are saying, how are we mad at these people when we made these people these people? You're mad because they're calling for a refill. But I'm the one that gave them the drug at the beginning, or my colleague, and it had to be a physician because that's where she got it from initially. And now this person is addicted and I keep upping the dose. What I'm going to do? Just keep upping the dose? Clearly she's not taking it or taking it as prescribed, because before 30 days is out, you call it for some more.
Wow. So then they take. Well, then I don't think that the pharmacy can't even fill it.
Yes, it can.
Yeah,
no, they can if it's not within the time.
Oh, yes, it can. Because what they do is they give you a new prescription. So when you get it,
cancel it out.
Right. When you get controlled substances, a new Michigan law. You can't do more than 28 days or cap 90 days for 3 months. So all I got to do is say, oh, you take one to this month, next month I'm giving you 1.5. Or the month ain't even up, I'm giving you 1.5. You change the dosage or the way you take it, that's considered a new prescription.
Because I was about to say, I thought that was the purpose of them doing it where, you know, whatever pharmacy you go to, they could see what drugs you got. That way you can't go around shopping. Remember, it used to be a time
Right.
you go to Walgreens and get a prescription
Right.
here and get another one because nobody knew that the other person had gave it to you.
No, because I hear that story a lot where people, they don't get hooked on it till they actually have an operation. Like El DeBarge, you know, Grand Rapids finest, you know, like his whole family, pretty much all his siblings, they were on drugs and he was the only one that wasn't. And he ended up getting a root canal. Wow. And that's when he got addicted to pills.
Wow. On song?
Yep.
You heard it on song. So it was from him.
Yep. He told, that's what his wife said. Because I don't even think he even participated in it. But everybody was like, he was like that one. Like he was the only one on time. He worked the hardest, never got involved with the drugs or anything. And then he ended up having the root canal. And then he got addicted to the medicine and the feeling of it.
It must have been too, I wonder if it could be like hereditary. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So people have predisposed to being, just like anything else, chubby, having bad hair, you know, eyesight, you know, male pattern baldness, or you're hypersensitive to anything that alters your mental state. So it could be alcohol, it could be drugs.
I think that one of the saddest stories that I heard from somebody was, and I won't even say sad because it's been some sadder ones, but I think one of the ones that probably make me the mad is when an older sibling turns a younger sibling.
Oh,
yeah,
and use drugs. Like, you picked your brother to do this, like. You know what it's doing to you, and now you're gonna introduce you doing drugs with your with your baby brother. Like, really? Like, this guy had got a scholarship to college to play basketball, was pretty much a shoe-in for the NBA, and his brother got him hooked on crack. And ended up telling him, apologizing and saying he was jealous of him and he did it on purpose.
No.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The guy been clean now for like 20 years or something like that. He just was celebrating it on Facebook. But, yep, it was his brother. Like that type of stuff. Like, that just makes me mad. Like, that's the stuff you're supposed to be hiding from your little sister, your little brother. But you're going to sit up there and introduce them to it?
And they just happen to see you, then you're like, okay, then don't do this. Whatever you do, don't do this. You know what I mean? But
I don't know. So Coach, because you said that you had been around, because I can say that I do remember like going out and some people like will be like, that person, they was doing cocaine, you know, or something like that, but it wasn't anybody that I personally hung with. You know what I mean? But, you said you was younger. Because I'm just like, I wouldn't even want to be around it. Like, I would feel like I needed to be babysitting. You know what I mean? And then you owe me an apology. And you're not embarrassed?
There's no dignity after that.
Yeah, nah, like, you can only know what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a person who was fully functioning. To my understanding of fully functional was went to work every day, had somewhat of a normal lifestyle. And I knew verbally that it was a thing sometimes. I do this sometimes. Okay, cool. But then like I didn't know it till like I seen it. Then I was like, yo, like he really do it. And it was just like, okay. Then like it was just something that I'd never seen again. Like, hey, no, never mind. Let me correct myself. It's not I definitely seen it again. I definitely seen it.
Did he ask like did he ask you like you wanna I mean, what they say, you want to hit this, you want to snort this, you want to...
No, because
Did he offer you some? Or
no.
They know you ain't...
No, they know I don't even, that's not even my outfit.
So did they say, sorry about that? Like the next day after the fact, like, man, I'm sorry I did.
No, because like the people that anybody that I've seen do it, they do it so normally. Like I said, like I went from thinking that like Coke was a downer where people just sniffing and then just pass out to they sniffing it and playing a game and drinking beer. I'm like, yo, like I never even thought that was I never knew that was even a thing.
Only reason why I know it was upper is because they made us watch a movie that I actually had my head down all of the whole entire movie, because as I was coming into the class, it was a health class. As I was coming in, tea was coming out. You don't want to watch that movie that they about to show. I come in and I put my head down, and all you could hear was people throwing up the whole thing, and people and all of this stuff. But I knew it was an upper because of a movie or something I watched, and it was the way the lady was staying up. Mm-hmm. So they were saying that that's like one of the ones like mom, you know, they call that the stay-at-home mom drug. Mm-hmm. Okay. The middle class, doing well, mom drug.
Mm-hmm. It's not like cocaine is not like usually like a person in the street, like homeless drug. Because like Coke is kind of expensive. Like that's like somebody middle class doing good for themselves type of drug. But I think something that needs to happen more, and I'm surprised it's not a thing as much as it should be, is it needs to be more education on drugs. Like, because that's not really a thing so much anymore where especially with prescription drugs and all those things. I think that should be something that they teach at schools, because it's just so many things that schools don't teach that I think they should, to help just people get through everyday life. You know, like going off subject a little bit, like schools like don't teach you like how to budget a checkbook or how to pay bills or about taking care of your credit. You know, like they should teach more things like that, and drug education. Because so many kids, they just taking drugs and don't even understand what these are even meant for, or what they do, or the consequences if you abuse it. Like that's just something that needs to be taught more in some capacity.
Yeah, let them see that film that we saw. All I remember was the music playing. It was the Lean On Me music playing, and the people just throwing up and falling downstairs, and they was and I was had my little head down like like I'm not gonna even watch that.
They'll roast that video. They need it more updated,
right?
Like with prescription drugs and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then people need to be also held accountable, kind of like the Michael Jackson doctor thing. Like, you know, I got into a couple of arguments with people about the Michael Jackson thing, because I'm like, yeah, this doctor should be held accountable. But Michael knew what he was doing. Yeah, Michael knew what he was doing, but apparently he didn't want to die because he's hiring a doctor to watch him.
Exactly.
So if I'm paying you to watch me, I'm not trying to die. I'm not at home just mixing it. I'm hiring a professional who's supposed to watch me.
Right.
So I can get up. So that's why he's responsible.
Mm-hmm. But you know, now, for prescription drugs, for most drugs now, is it all of them? It's all of them. There's 2 drugs now that will help you detox.
Okay.
There's one that you have to be clean for 14 days, and then you start the regimen. And it works so well is if you were into say for instance, your drug was cocaine, and you get into a accident or whatever, you have to wear a special bracelet because pain medicine doesn't work, because it takes off that receptor that gives you the joy of getting high. It stops that. So if you're in pain, they give you pain medicine, it won't even work. They have to give you a special kind of pain medicine drug to take care of it.
Is that the medicine? Because I know somebody who every day they have to go and get a shot. Their husband have to go and get a shot because he was on heroin.
Yeah, that's the old school. This one is a weekly thing, and you have to get it every so often. So it ran into a problem because when we had that polar vortex up here, the medicine didn't make it.
What happened?
The medicine didn't make it. We had a polar vortex, so everything was frozen. Stuff didn't happen. That was a ripple effect. Some people backslid and fell off the wagon and had to start the process all over again. Because if it's more than 10 days, I think, it starts to lose its effect. And so some people stopped taking it. No fault of their own, but.
Do you press charges on a family member who on drugs and steal from you?
No, because I don't think it does anything.
No, because they go to jail, they get the same drug. So.
No, like I might, depending on what you stole, what's up when I see you. But if it's something petty, it's just like, because I don't know, that's tough. Because like you don't, like, it's like if you care about them, you don't want to cut them off. Like you really got to treat them like this person is sick. Like the cousin that I know in a right mind wouldn't steal from me.
Right.
But my cousin that's sick, he would steal from me.
Right.
So that's tough.
Well, they say that, and you guys watch the intervention show, like they be like, you got to cut people off. Like, people are getting high and, because I used to think that crack made you skinny. I didn't realize crack doesn't make you skinny. Crack, people just was choosing to do crack versus eat.
Yeah.
But if you can still go to your mama's house and eat, you still gonna be a fat crackhead. So, I didn't even realize it. I really honestly thought crack, but if your mama cut you off and said you're not coming here to eat, you know what I mean? But I just pray that I'm never in that situation where I gotta make because that gotta be a hard, tough thing to see somebody that you're so close with go through that.
Yeah, like for me, like at least somebody I can name off top, like my brother. Like if my brother ever got on that stuff, like I know for a fact I couldn't cut him off because I wouldn't want to cut him off and then the worst happened. Like you wouldn't be able to convince me that I did enough. Like I would just be going through this life like I didn't do enough for him. Like if I would have just kept caring, he would still be here. Like I don't think I could be convinced otherwise. So I think that has to be tough for anybody.
And a lot of people end up right, and that's the sad part because a lot of people end up in counseling and stuff like that for other people's issues of them blaming themselves. You know what I mean? How could you not blame yourself if you were as a parent and you started smoking weed with your child and then your child got on crack? How could you not blame yourself for that?
Right. You couldn't. I heard parents say, "It's cool because we're doing it together. I know what kind of drug it is. I know how much. I know what they're doing after they smoke. So they smoking with me. It's cool." Really?
Yeah. So I know we only got a little bit, probably no time, but we've talked about so many other drugs, but we do need to make sure that we put in there alcohol because there are a lot of functioning alcoholics.
For real.
People can get up in the morning, go to work, come home, get drunk every night, go to bed, get up in the morning, start all over. A functioning alcoholic, and an alcoholic is just the same as any other drug. So I don't want people to think that we didn't talk about that and downplay that. You know what I mean? Because I think that that's just as important too, especially people who, get tempers and different things like that. Because most of the time, when you hear about alcoholics, they always fighting and, pulling out knives and slapping the kids, all of that. Right, all of the Lifetime movies, the alcoholic.
Yeah, it's a lot more subtle.
Oh, very much so.
Because the thing is, like drinking alcohol is so normalized that it's one of those addictions that just sneak up on you. Like you won't realize it until you just really sit one day and be like, I got a problem. Like I'm drinking a lot. Like, I remember I had like a period where like I was drinking every day. And I didn't realize I was drinking every day till I was out of drink.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm like, yo, like I just became this dude that was just drinking Hennessy every day. Like I was dealing with stuff and I didn't realize like I was coping with this, but now realizing I was coping with this. And then I was like, okay, like this ain't like this. I'm about to shake this. Like I drunk like another bottle of Hennessy. And then like, I was like, this is done. Like I'm not doing this no more. And I just didn't. Like I haven't had Hennessy in years. It was like maybe like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Praise
That's
God.
big though. When you can self-regulate, that means you have a lot of willpower.
Yeah, like I just never really got addicted to things like that. Like with stuff like that, like I could always just be like, all right, no, like I'm not doing that. That's just me.
Yeah. And then I think people sometimes are good at hiding things too.
That's real too.
Because people don't be real knowing that. Like,
Cause they be like, I got a job, I got a house, I'm straight.
right. Unless you end up meeting somebody. I remember I met somebody and this dude would be calling me toe down. And when we went out, and like he had two shots of Patron. Yeah. 2 shots. We're at Outback and you having 2 shots of Patron, 4 beers. Oh no, didn't call. It was around. I remember that it was around the 4th of July because he was like, "Can you?" Then he called, "Can you cook?" Because I was thinking I could barbecue and you could do the side. And I said, "You've been drinking, and I'll talk to you later." And then when he texts the next day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're up texting." And he was like, "Well," and I was like, "Seemed like you have a hangover. You were drunk last night." I wasn't drunk.
What a person that called from your number was.
Right.
Yeah.
And had a really good job. I mean, a beautiful home. I mean, seemed to have been doing very well for himself. But I should have known because he always was sucking on cough drops. So he was trying to get alcohol smell, but acting like his throat was hurting.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing for a long time.
What?
Like people like would have like cough drops.
Yeah.
Like that people that drink like that. Because there's like movies and TV shows, they always paint it like anybody who own drugs or got an alcohol problem, they doing bad. Like if they own drugs, they homeless. If they drinking, they abusive and they crazy. Like, no, like you could be perfectly normal and have a full problem that you need to deal with.
Yeah. The other thing for alcohol that'll take alcohol out your breath and help you if you were drinking and driving is peanut butter.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Take your scoop of peanut butter. You can pass. So
what do you do? Like you just like scoop up like some peanut butter and eat it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Learned that because I went to a party and everybody was drinking, and then when the people was putting, letting everybody go, get the peanut butter, and everybody, I'm like, what's the peanut butter?
Get this
Right. What the peanut butter doing? It was like, oh, it'll take the alcohol off your breath and it'll help with the breathalyzer.
I know.
But I know y'all drunk. Y'all still hopping in the cars though. Oh, okay. Yeah, they send you on your way. All right, then.
Wow.
So.
Learn something today.
Right. Well, our time is up. So we hope you guys learned something. I think we just really had a conversation. I'm hoping, you guys go to Nikki, Nikki B and Friends, and leave some comments about this, this topic and conversation. I would like to hear from some people in regards to the situation and how they have handled the situation. So let's go ahead and do our closing remarks. Dee Dee, go ahead.
I would just say if you have that family member that, you see them spiraling, don't push them by, putting their business out or, talking down to them, try to lift them up some way. There's treatment. Help them seek the treatment. Treatment does not have color. Treatment has a stigma, but that stigma is well-being. That's it.
All right.
Coach.
This is for the people who got a problem and people who maybe know somebody with a problem. Like, just don't stop believing. You know what I'm saying? Like in your loved one who got the problem, don't stop believing in them because they can overcome anything. And the person with the problem, like, don't stop believing in your life, your purpose here. Like, everybody has a bigger purpose, and don't ever stop believing in that. And you can overcome whatever you're dealing with.
Okay. And so then my closing remarks is, I agree with them, just if you feel like you got a problem, seek treatment. If you feel like somebody with a problem, try to help them to get treatment, but nobody's going to get treatment until they're ready. And don't blame yourself if they don't. And don't take on more than you can from their actions, because I think a lot of people out there take on a lot of other people's burdens sometimes because you do love and care about that person so much. And that person has to love and care about themselves as much as you love and care about them. So don't be so hard on yourself because of them. You're not forcing them to do that. You're trying to help them. And sometimes you have to let them go in order for them to do better. If you steady continuing to help them and making sure they got money and all of this, some people need to hit rock bottom to realize they got to make a change. And I think people need to remember that piece of it too. And therapy, remember, it's always supposed to be a deeper reason of why they're doing it. So if we can just stop putting a stigma on therapy and, get some help that way. So I hope everybody, learned something. Please make sure that you share your comment and feedback with us on tonight's episode. And, anybody out there who needs any help, please, seek treatment. Dee Dee, you got a 1-800 number for drugs?
I don't. But if you call your local 411, they can help you.
Okay.
Right on.
Call 411 and they could, assist you. So, but yeah. So thanks again, everybody, for taking the time out to listen to us. And thank you guys for continuing to tell your friends about us. And our numbers are growing, and we appreciate that. And we appreciate everybody who takes the time to subscribe. And
correction, that's 211. 411 was in the 80s. My bad.
Mary J. Blige. What's the 411?
It's 211.
What's the 211?
It's 211 people for emergency purposes, and they can get you some resources. So again, please follow our Facebook page at Nikki, Nikki B and Friends, and Instagram at Nikki, NIKKI _and_friends. And we just appreciate you guys that take the time out to listen to us. Thank you. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Stay up.